Have you ever seen a more cringe headline? How an Elon Musk PAC is using voter data to help Trump beat Harris in the 2024 election. That's right, guys. I don't know if you're aware of this, but Elon Musk is one of Trump's strongest soldiers. He has been a Trump supporter for about as long as Trump has been in the world of politics, which has kind of always been the giveaway about how obnoxious and awful his politics really are. Though I do think he claims to have voted for Obama. Maybe that was Trump who claims to have voted for Obama. I don't know. Regardless, I'm not sure if you're aware, but yeah, Elon Musk sucks even more than you might have already known. If a voter in Michigan performs a search on Google, a somewhat shocking ad might pop up. The ad shows a young man lying in bed late at night when someone else texts him, saying, "Hey, you need to vote," and then sends the man a video of the attempted assassination of former President Donald Trump. The man can hear the gunshots and people screaming in the background. As Trump is rushed off stage with blood pouring down his face, the man watching the video types in response, "This is out of control. How do I start?" The ad then displays a website for a group called America PAC. The website says it will help the viewer register to vote, but once a user clicks register to vote, the experience he or she will have can be very different depending on where they live. If a user lives in a state that is not considered competitive in the presidential election, like California or Wyoming, for example, they'll be prompted to enter their email addresses and zip code, and then directed quickly to a voter registration page for their state, or back to the original sign-up section. But for users who enter a zip code that indicates they live in a battleground state, like Pennsylvania or Georgia, the process is very different. Rather than be directed to their state's voter registration page, they instead are directed to a highly detailed personal information form prompted to enter their address, cell phone number, and age. If they agree to submit all that, the system still does not steer them to a voter registration page. Instead, it shows them a thank you page. So that person who wanted help registering to vote, in the end, they got no help at all registering, but they did hand over priceless personal data to a political operation, specifically a political action committee created by Tesla CEO Elon Musk, one aimed at giving the Republican presidential nominee Trump an advantage in his campaign against Vice President Kamala Harris, the de facto Democratic nominee. What do you guys think of that, chat? Do you guys know about that? What are your thoughts? That's right, Elon Musk is literally attempting to rig the election. He is literally trying to convince people in battleground states to not only farming their data for the PAC, but also trying to convince them they're already registered to vote falsely so that they can't vote on election day. Isn't that illegal? Probably it probably is against the spirit of the law, but like bit by bit, point by point, if challenged in court, they could probably argue they're within legal rights. Maybe. I mean, if not, then they're going to be in some serious trouble. But I mean, this is so blatant, you have to assume they at least did their due diligence to, you know, bend the rules and not break them, right? Yeah, if it goes up to the Supreme Court of the United States, what do you think they're going to say? You think they're going to say, "Oh, no, sorry, Elon, you can't do that. You can't help Trump." You think they're gonna say that if it goes to the Supreme Court? Nah, there's no consequences for Elon here, obviously. I have created a PAC, or a super PAC, the America PAC, Musk said in a recent interview. I can't do a Musk impression because I feel like if I did, then you guys would accuse me of being ableist, so I'm gonna do like just kind of a whiny Trump-esque impression for Musk. Musk also owns the social media platform Twitter and has a net worth of more than $235 billion, according to Forbes. Can we please just see that number drop? Please, I hate him so much, and I need him to die, like, poor. You know? Like, just for my own fulfillment. The combination of owning a social media company that gives him an enormous platform to push his political views and creating a PAC with effectively unlimited resources has made Musk, for the first time, a major force in an American presidential election. Well, that's bad. Musk PAC uses register-to-vote data. The America PAC has spent more than $800,000 since early July on digital ads that target voters in the key battleground states of Arizona, Michigan, Georgia, North Carolina, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, according to Ad Impact. The ads appeared on Facebook, Instagram, and Google through YouTube, and many encourage people to register to vote at America's PAC website, or America PAC's website. The PAC's effort to collect information from people using the idea of voter registration is a critical piece to its plan to make personal contact with these voters. Quote, America PAC is focusing on door-to-door canvassing in support of Trump, said Brandon Fisher, a deputy executive director at Campaign Finance Watchdog documented. I think that some of the things they're doing here would be fine if it wasn't to service Trump, right? Like, if it's just, here is a guide on how to register to vote, but it actually shows you how, and they do collect your data if you put it in there so they can contact you and like, get you involved in, I don't know, canvassing efforts, whatever. If, like, there wasn't the shady aspect to it and it wasn't the Republicans, like, even if it, like, it doesn't even have to be the Democrats, it just needs to not be the Republicans, I could see, like, some of this stuff being okay, but, like, specifically in a battleground state, you are directed to a false, okay, cool, you're registered to vote now page, and on top of that, they harvest your data to then contact you and try to convince you to vote Trump. It's like, there's so much shadiness, and like, it's shady. It's not like a normal political PAC. It's a shady, right-wing, dark money political PAC. I feel like calling it a political PAC is kind of redundant, because PAC means Political Action Committee. So, it's just a shady PAC. Fisher pointed to the group's privacy policy, which says it can use the data they've collected on, quote, other activities and/or fundraising campaigns. Since June, America PAC has spent more than $21 million on canvassing, digital media, text message services, and phone calls, according to Federal Election Commission filings. The PAC's website offers no indication, one way or another, what the group's political leaning is. But in its federal file, I mean, it's obviously pro-Trump, but of course they don't give it away, because that's a big part of the shadiness, too. Like, when you look at any other political campaign's PAC, whether it's like for one of the third parties in America or even like the Democrats, it's always like very obvious what party this PAC is for. Like, it's like screaming in your face. But when it's a Republican PAC, they almost try to make it look politically neutral or vaguely progressive. Like, they can't, like, all, like, conservative websites are so shady. Like, the right and the way that they scam people, it's so shameless and in your face, and it's a very similar to, like, the broad net, or, like, not the broad net, the fine net thrown out by, like, the Nigerian prince scammers. They're like, why would you still do the Nigerian prince scam when everyone knows what it is? Well, because if anyone actually replies to that scam email at this point, then they're gonna go all the way and get fully scammed. So they do it on purpose. So they're only reeling in the real suckers that are gonna end up being catches. I feel like that's how the Republicans succeed right now. They're so crazy that, like, they attract the biggest crazies without fail. And then once you've got enough crazies together having a good time, normal people start to think that they should get involved because they feel like the odd one's out. And I feel like that's a lot of the Trump, like the pro-Trump, that's like a lot of what the Trump train is, right? Since June, America PAC has spent more than $21 million on canvassing, digital media, text messaging services, and phone calls, according to the Federal Election Commission filings. The PAC's website offers no indication one way or another what the group's political leaning is, but in its federal filings, the group discloses that all of its work is designed to either help Trump or hurt his opponent. Fisher said he has seen some other PACs try to use a register to vote message to gather people's data. But what is unique about America PAC's project, so obviously, as the bad part, what is unique about America PAC's project is who is backing it and the timing of its creation. In most cases, super PACs are not allowed to directly coordinate the ads they pay for with the campaign. But this spring, regulators ruled that door-to-door canvassing falls outside the scope of the ban because, unlike an ad, it is a person-to-person exchange. That's a good thing, I think. I think it's good that campaigns are allowed to pay for canvassing, because canvassing is, I think, a very healthy way to engage in political messaging. I saw a lot of, like, I saw Philip DeFranco complain about this, and like phone banking too. I saw Philip DeFranco and a lot of normie, like, centrist types complaining about this, and conservatives too. But the idea of being against, I feel like more so than ads, door knocking and phone banking is one of the most healthy forms of political advocacy there is. Ads feel like one of the cheapest, I don't mean like literally cheapest, but you know what I mean when I say cheapest ways to advocate for a political position or a political political figure. But like door knocking and canvassing and like phone banking, it feels, you know, it's person to person, right? Like it's more like people who believe in the candidate are going to find people who don't, and trying to convince them person to person, whether it be over the phone or like face to face, to vote for someone else, right? Like, because they believe in that. And I think that's powerful. I think that's actually a really good thing. So I don't like that people are complaining about that, but obviously in this case, this PAC is evil. What makes America PAC more unique is it is a billionaire-backed super PAC focused on door-to-door canvassing, which it can conduct in coordination with a presidential campaign, Fisher said. Thanks to a recent FEC advisory opinion, America PAC may legally coordinate its canvassing activities with the Trump campaign, meaning, among other things, that the Trump campaign may provide America PAC with the literature and scripts to make sure their efforts are consistent. Quote, coordination is incredibly important. It ensures that the PAC's activities are maximally beneficial to the campaign and frees up the campaign's own funds for other uses, he said. Quote, I suspect the PAC's ability to coordinate its data-driven canvassing activities with the Trump campaign made it very appealing for donors. Longtime Republican strategists Phil Cox, Janera Peck, and Dave Rexroad are among those now guiding the PAC after a shakeup in mid-July, according to a person with direct knowledge of the matter. This person was granted anonymity to speak freely about a private matter. The change suggests there could be a shift in tactics by the PAC come November, the New York Times first reported on the moves. Musk is not the only tech executive backing this effort. The America PAC raised more than $8 million between April 1st and June 30th, according to FEC records. It has received donations from veteran investor Doug Leone. Doug Leone? Doug Leone? I don't know. Cryptocurrency investors Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss, and a company run by longtime venture capitalist Joe Longsdale, according to FEC records. Lonsdale, a co-founder of the software company Palantir, is also a leader, maybe it is spyware to be honest, is also a leader of the PAC and serves as a political confidant to Musk, according to the Times. The records do not yet list Musk as a donor. He recently said on Twitter that he is making some donations to America PAC, but he did not say how much. The PAC is not required to file a third quarter report until October 15th, the first time that Musk's name could be listed as a donor. A spokesman for America PAC declined to comment. Musk did not return emails seeking comment. Musk on Twitter mirrors Musk PAC. The PAC's ads that have aired on social media platforms also mirror a larger message that Musk pushes out to his 191 million followers on X several times a day. The notion that America is in chaos and voting for Trump over Harris is the only way out. These PACs have often functioned as the alter ego of whatever billionaire is behind. Wait, I actually think this person's based. Never mind. I won't read their quote like this. These PACs have often functioned as the alter ego of whatever billionaire is behind them, said Daniel Weiner, a director of Brennan Center's Elections and Government program. Experts say Musk's ownership of Twitter and the lack of any real guardrails around how he uses it are a sign the platform could be used by the Tesla boss as a political weapon to take on Harris and Democrats at large with fewer than 100 days left until the election. I'd like to say that it is somewhat concerning that the owner of one of the most important social media platforms is openly partisan, rooting for one of the candidates over the other. I don't know why they need to explain what the word partisan means, but I guess thank you for people who don't know. And is using his platform as a vehicle for pursuing his openly partisan ends, said Matthew Baum, a professor of the Harvard Kennedy School, whose research includes studying misinformation. Baum said ownership of a social media company like Twitter leaves open the possibility of capture of a major platform by a partisan actor who would then be largely free to use the platform as they see fit, regardless of the potential negative social or political consequences. There is a concern that Musk is weaponizing Twitter to help his preferred candidate in Trump, said Weiner. So, I just want you guys to think for a moment here. I really want you to think for a moment here. Who remembers when the right nonstop claimed that Twitter was backing Biden or Hillary or insert progressive figure here? Or Biden? That's the whole thing that the Twitter files was supposed to be. The Twitter files was supposed to expose that Twitter actually favors the left and will ban you for being conservative or even hinting at being conservative. And do you want to know what the Twitter files actually revealed? The only thing that was even close to twistable as, like, bad behavior was when Twitter users were posting revenge porn of Hunter Biden, which is against the law. You're not, like, allowed to post revenge porn of someone when they don't want you to post it of them. And it's like, you know, like, we're talking actually leaked private nude photos. That is against the law. They were breaking the law. And so I believe it might have been the Biden campaign, or not the campaign, but the administration on behalf of Hunter Biden might have issued takedown requests on those that were using and posting those images, because obviously it's illegal revenge porn. But regardless, people frame this as like some kind of inside pro-leftist, pro-Democrat bias that was just non-existent. Meanwhile, what the API leaks did show was happening at Twitter was that the moderators and auto mods at Twitter had to specifically give the benefit of the doubt to known conservative accounts because, as they said, if they applied the rules equally to both normal people, lefties, and conservatives, the platform would have no conservatives because their political opinions are all against TOS. Their values are centered around racism, sexism, bigotry, and the harassment and belittling of others. And so if you're going to have a basic TOS that outlaws being a piece of shit to other people, you have to have some unequal application for right-wing politicians and big right-wing pundits, or it's going to really look biased. When the reality is just that, and you can't outright say this, especially not as a big company, because it would be a PR disaster, the reality is that conservatives are just at large, not all of them, but at large, as a mass on a platform, typically a toxic cancer to the platform that brings everything down, makes advertisers run away, loses the platform money and users, and makes everything worse. And they just don't want to, like, admit that. So they have to apply the rules gently with kid gloves, but still go... They basically had to walk the tightrope. They basically just didn't moderate as much as they could get away with, and moderated as much as they could get away with. And they tried to keep it within the margins back when Jack Dorsey and the guy who took charge after him were running Twitter. And then when Elon bought it, we now know it just has a far more explicit conservative bias than it's ever had, right? And so Twitter has always been favorable to the right, and yet the right has always and will continue to pretend as if social media is rigged against them when really the opposite is what's true. And then on top of that, they'll own these platforms, use the money and resources from these platforms to back their candidate, all the while claiming that there's a conspiracy equally as bad happening on the left that just doesn't exist. It really is, as Matthew Madden just mentioned, like the equivalent of Demon Mama lobbing all those accusations at me, and then like a week later it turns out they were all true of her, and it was all projection. Like, these people, conservatives can't help but just project everything they plan to do onto the left, and so every time, every accusation they make of the left that's just out of left field and bizarre and deranged and disconnected from reality is just them admitting what their future plans are. Anyway, If you feel informed or you liked anything I had to say here, consider supporting the channel. It really does help a lot. You can actually do that real easy just by hitting that like button. Every thumbs up on my channel, no matter when, where, or what you're watching, whether it be live or as a video when it goes up on its own, really does help the channel a lot, so thank you to all you guys who hit that thumbs up. Comment down below if you also want to help the channel even more. It doesn't matter what you comment, it really does help, and I've noticed you guys have been doing it a lot, so it helps a ton. And subscribe and ring the bell icon if you haven't already, so YouTube tells you when I go live or upload a new video. Otherwise, they will not do that. But I do appreciate it, even if you were just watching, obviously. Consider following my social medias, linked down below in the description if you want to see more from me, including joining my free fan Discord server. It is the hub of my community and fan base. We host events there all the time, including tonight. We're doing a watch party of Avatar: The Last Airbender Season 3. We are getting, like, the middle bit of the season kind of, like, done. And then on top of that, I also do gaming events, call-in streams, and all that good stuff in there. I announce all my new uploads and streams there too, so if you really don't want to miss anything, being in my Discord is the best way, and having notifications on in there is the best way. And of course, consider supporting me financially if you can do it. I do appreciate it by donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or supporting me financially through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, StreamElements, Patreon, or buying merch at the Streamlabs link down below. But regardless of how you support me, I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a good one.